Welcome to Pet Pals. Every week we showcase animals that are available for adoption through the Frederick County Division of Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. I'm Linda Shea, Division Director. With me is Randy Cooper, our long-term volunteer and pet wrangler. And the first dog we're going to take a look at is Jack. Jack is our current resident Australian cattle dog, and he is a beautiful blue merle. He's got some ticking in his coat, just a gorgeous looking dog. He's about 5 years old, came from a family that had 3 other dogs, and apparently there was some issue with being possessive over the owner, a little jealousy that was created among the dogs, so Jack was relinquished to our shelter just about a couple weeks ago. So he's done really well. He is a little bit anxious, so what we have done for Jack to make him comfortable here, he is on medication for anxiety. He is also, sometimes if you walk through the kennels, he'll be wearing a thunder shirt. If you're familiar with what that is, or if you're not, a thunder shirt is just a shirt. It's Velcroed onto the dog. It kind of snuggles them in and gives them a sense of confidence and comfort, and that can help if a dog's got some anxiety issues. Cattle dogs in general are very smart. So part of the challenge of owning one or adopting one, you have to be as smart as the dog. It's a working breed, so you need to have some job for them to do, and that can be finding things in the backyard, that can be creating games, that definitely would include long walks to work off that energy, and in the case of Jack, to work off that anxiety. But as you can see, he is very agreeable to being handled, to being pet, just is enjoying just hanging out with Randy, not really predatory, but again, very, very smart. He weighs about 55 pounds, which I think is deceptive. To me, he seems a little bit smaller than that, but again, gorgeous coat. So do some research, ask some questions. A breed like this is not for everybody, even though he's exhibiting excellent manners, is very social, relatively quiet. You want to make sure that if you're going to incorporate him into your family, you have as much information on the breed as possible. A lot of things with cattle dogs, they're just instinct that you're not going to be able to change, and you just need to be prepared. But Jack is a great dog, and if you're interested in adopting him, you want to make sure you do the research and then come in and visit. So probably an informal poll of people that are looking for dogs, I would guess that Labrador Retrievers are in the top 5 when folks are looking for family dogs. Typically, Labs are stable in temperament, they're very social, they are very active, so when you're thinking about partnering up a dog with your family, if you're thinking about Frisbee or playing fetch, Labs are great dogs for that. But Q is an example, and his name is Q, Q-U-E. He's about 10 months old. He was acquired as an 8-week-old puppy, and I guess the kids in the family thought that he would be a great family dog for the parents. So he was purchased from a breeder, and as you can tell, he is exhibiting normal lab behavior. Labs typically are very energetic, very excited about life, want to explore. Right now, Q has a choice of 3 people in the room, and he would love to be with each and every one of us and just can't decide how to get to where he wants to be. So this is a 10-month-old Labrador. Unfortunately, so many people don't understand that this is a typical lab puppy. The good part about Q is that Labs in general are very people-pleasing type dogs. They can be very obedient, food motivated, so there's lots of pluses. So when you are considering adopting a Lab of any size or any age, you want to consider training. Training is a must, or you're going to end up with a frustrating problem, and that's the case with Q. He got to a point where he was just too much to handle for his family, and you can see that enthusiasm. His mouth is open, he's panting, his tail's wagging, and he's looking around. He just can't decide what to do next. So what would help him is having a consistent routine and allowing him to know what to expect as far as manners. He would be really easy to train. He's working on sitting, but he wants to get to the treat pretty quickly. So one of our processes here at the shelter is our puppy process, and we try to avoid situations where puppies come back. So Q has a great foundation as far as his breed, as far as his personality, as far as his temperament. He just needs work on some manners, and he needs an outlet for all that energy. He's going to need at least a couple walks a day, some job, some playing Frisbee in the backyard, playing fetch, give him something to find in the backyard. There's all sorts of outlets for that energy. What can't happen for Q, though, he cannot be placed in a family that's going to expect him to just sit in front of the TV and watch soap operas in the afternoon. He's not that kind of dog. So you want to make sure when you're considering a pet for your family that you're realistic with your expectations and with what you can provide that animal. But Q is our 10-month-old, very energetic lab looking for a forever home. This little girl is not quite so little. She is 67 pounds, and this is Lucy. Lucy is similar in age to Q. Lucy's about 8 months old at this point. She is, according to her owners, a Weimaraner mix, and they might have more of a knowledge of her pedigree, more so than we do. In looking at her, there's definitely more mix than Weimaraner. I would say there could be some Lab, some Mastiff, Great Dane. She's very tall, and she's only about 8 months old, so she still has about another year to grow. So she's going to be a big girl. The reason she was turned in by her owners, she lived with one cat and 2 little dogs, and the 2 little dogs were afraid of her. So that's why she was relinquished. She was acquired from a friend a couple of months ago, I'm guessing when she was a little bit smaller, but the smaller dogs did not acclimate well to her, so she's here at the shelter. Prior to leaving here, she will be spayed. She's already current on vaccines. We are testing all of our dogs for heartworm, Lyme, Ehrlichia, and Anaplasma, and she is negative on all of those things. Those are important to know. Even if you never adopt from us or any shelter, you want to make sure that the dogs in your family are tested for those things at your veterinarian. You want to talk to your vet about preventatives. In this area, we tend to see a lot of dogs that have ticks on them or have had exposure to mosquitoes, and that those are a lot of times the preventatives for Lyme disease and for heartworm disease are way less expensive than treatment and certainly less traumatic on your pet. So talk to your veterinarian if you have dogs, cats, whatever, and make sure that you're getting them the proper preventative for the area that you live in. Sometimes that can be effective as well. Years ago, we didn't see as much heartworm in this area, but now as people transfer, move, situations that occur where animals are transported from natural disasters, we're seeing an increase in heartworm disease and exposure to mosquitoes, and certainly the mosquito population moving around the country and relocating and just showing up in areas that they did not at one point is increasing the potential for heartworm. So again, conversation between you and your vet. But Lucy is negative on all 4 of the things that we test for. She's a great dog. She is, in my opinion, more well-mannered than Q, even though she's younger. So that could be her owners just paid more attention, or it could be that she's just predisposed to having better manners. Regardless, for both dogs or either dog, you want to make sure that you continue to encourage the good behavior and discourage the bad behavior by simply ignoring the bad behavior and then praising and motivating with food when they're doing a good job. So here we have Bella, our little 7-year-old Shih Tzu, and we've got Maggie, our 11-year-old Chow Chow. They were turned in together, and it's just a Mutt and Jeff type of pair of dogs. They are very enjoyable to watch, just the difference in size, the difference in age. Maggie, as you can see, is a typical serious Chow Chow demeanor, and our little Bella here is just active, social, pleasant, and wanting to be in the middle of things. They are best friends, and this is, while we don't like seeing dogs in shelters ever, they really should be with a family, I'm just happy that they have each other. So they're what we consider a bonded pair, meaning that they have to be adopted together. They have been friends for this long in life. They came from the same family. Bella has always known Maggie to be part of her family, so we're mandating that they get adopted together. It would be entirely unfair to adopt them separately. But they are older girls. Again, Maggie's 11. So has typical senior dog things. She's missing some fur on her back. She's got a little bit of the graying in her eyes, the lenticular sclerosis. And then little Bella is 7. Bella's primary need would be professional grooming. Shih Tzu are gorgeous, but they do have a coat that requires some trimming and some sometimes just some cutting, just to make sure that they're kept comfortable. You want to make sure the hair is out of their eyes and that they don't get matted and that they don't get anything that makes them uncomfortable. So those are the requirements for these girls. Their adoption fee is discounted because they are both seniors, and then adopting both of them is another reduction there in their adoption fee. So what we encourage you to do if you're considering adopting a pair like this, do some research, ask some questions. Obviously they get along really well with each other. We do separate them for feeding, primarily to make sure that this little one here doesn't scarf down all the food from the Chow Chow, but also they can be a little bit possessive of food. But that's definitely something that's manageable. And as you can see, and one thing that I will point out and appreciate, Maggie is very, very tolerant. Sometimes Chow Chows get bad raps for being serious dogs, for being dangerous dogs, for being biters. And as you can see, she's just extremely tolerant of Bella. She's allowing her to jump on her and explore without any reaction whatsoever. Both of these girls are extremely social, and again, the reason they were turned into the shelter is that their family was moving to a place that, come here sweetheart, that did not allow pets. So that's why they were turned into the shelter, but they had been with their family for their whole entire lives. So unfortunately, circumstances in life happen, and we are here as a last resort to place animals. So again, the little girl is Bella, who's trying desperately to get on Randy's lap, and then Maggie is our Chow Chow. So if you're interested in adopting these guys, they have to go together. They are great company for one another, and we can help you with information on introducing them to your family. So we're going to go ahead and take a short break. When we come back, we'll take a look at 5 of our feline friends that are looking for forever homes from our, at the moment, increasing kitten population.
Hi, I'm Tracy, and this is Catherine. We are Frederick County 911 dispatchers, and we're here to tell you what to expect when dialing 911.
We're on the line to listen, and we also have important instructions to give you. Your 911 operator needs to get essential information from you as quickly as possible by asking the following questions in this order.
What is the address of the emergency so we can send the right help to the right location? What is the phone number you're calling from? If the line disconnects, we may need to call you back. What is your name so we can address you properly? And tell me exactly what happened. Asking these questions allows operators to start dispatch to emergencies quickly.
Your 911 operator is often working closely with one or more dispatchers, obtaining important information which is relayed to responders who are on the way to your location while you are still on the phone.
This process is repeated on each call to ensure responders get to each emergency as quickly and safely as possible with the right information to provide the best service they can.
Law enforcement, fire and rescue, and other responders rely on 911 operators and dispatchers to obtain specific information that varies with each type of call. Sometimes it may seem as though your 911 operator is asking a series of unnecessary questions, but in fact this information is vital for getting the right help sent to the right place. Often, help is already on the way while your 911 operator is talking to you.
While emergency crews are responding, dispatchers continue to provide them with updated information gathered by your 911 operator.
Also, your 911 operator may be able to provide you with important life-saving direction, from how to safely exit a building on fire to CPR instruction, providing important information for staying safe and out of danger during a vehicle accident, as well as helping a caller deliver a baby.
For more information, visit frederickcountymd.gov/911 or call the non-emergency number at 301-600-1603.
Are you a fan of Facebook? Hooked on Twitter? Now you can stay connected to County Executive Jan Gardner using your favorite social media platforms. Like, follow, and subscribe today.
Welcome back to Pet Pals. Now we're going to take a look at 5 of our kittens that are available on our adoption floor. This time of year we are typically floor to ceiling with felines, so if you're looking for a cat or a kitten, you want to make sure that you stop by the shelter. First little girl we're going to take a look at, we've named Cindy. She came to us as a stray from Fingerboard Road back early part of June. She is about 10 to 12 months and she was found in somebody's front yard. So if you are missing a cat or kitten, you want to make sure that you stop by the shelter. We encourage people to call in lost reports, but nothing replaces coming in and putting your eyes on the animals to see if that's actually your animal. Oftentimes without a picture, your description of your pet is going to be much different than what they actually look like to us. And a lot of times the general population of even the most experienced cat owners don't necessarily understand cat coloring. So that can kind of be a sticking point. So again, if you're missing a pet, you want to make sure that you come to the shelter, walk through, ask for an escort back through our isolation areas to see if your pet's here. But Cindy is here now. She is about 10 to 12 months old. She was recently spayed. Part of the adoption process for cats and dogs and bunnies is that we spay or neuter them. Our cats and dogs are microchipped, and we will register that to the new family for Cindy. She's a great little girl, so we encourage you to come in and visit if you are looking to add a juvenile kitten to your family. So this handsome fella is Pumpkin, and we've all commented he will not be here very long. He will be snatched up by an adopter very quickly, we're sure. He's gorgeous red tabby with white. Came in previously owned, and the reason his owner turned him in is that they could not afford him. We've gone ahead and gotten him neutered, microchipped, current on vaccines, tested negative for feline leukemia and feline immunodeficiency virus, so he would be a relatively quick adoption. Pumpkin is also about 10 months old, as you can see, very, very affectionate, just a little over 10 pounds, so he's on the larger side of cats. Cats are on average about 8 pounds, but he's a big boy, very sweet. One thing that you should be aware of, if you are in a situation similar to Pumpkin's family where you don't think you can afford your pet, we do have some options information-wise and resources we can offer you. We have low-cost spay-neuter information. We have some programs that if you are a Frederick County resident and you meet certain criteria, such as being a senior citizen, being in financial need under the if you've already participating in government subsidized programs, that might qualify you for free spaying and neutering. So ask the question if that's what's keeping you from keeping your pet. We also have a pet food bank that we are in the middle of restructuring, but currently we still have our pet food bank, and that is community driven. We get donations from the community to provide to folks who may have trouble feeding their pets. So Pumpkin is here, available for adoption, again, just relinquished from an owner that could not keep him. Great cat. So if you're looking for a younger cat, don't want actually an 8-week-old kitten, we've got our little 10-month-old fella here. This little guy we named Hunter. He's about 3.5 to 4 months of age, and he is just another kitten on our adoption floor. You've got your basic gray and white bicolor. He is a little over 3 pounds, almost 4 pounds, and he was found as a stray on Yellow Springs Road early part of June. So this time of year, it's not uncommon for us to just be inundated with kittens of all sizes, all ages, all health conditions. Fortunately for Hunter, he is healthy. He is negative for leukemia, negative for feline immunodeficiency virus. We will, actually it looks like we've already microchipped him, but we will be neutering him prior to leaving here. We'll make sure that he's current on his shots. We will provide deworming medication and preventatives. So he will be in good health by the time he is adopted. You want to make sure that when you're introducing kittens to your family, do some research on what kitten behavior is like. Sometimes people are unfamiliar with kittens, and kittens are nocturnal. They like to play at night. So if you need 8 hours of beauty sleep, you need to put up the little jingle ball toys and other things that can make noise. You want to make sure that kittens are kept safe. It's almost like baby-proofing your home. Make sure that any vertical blinds with any strings or attachments are up and away from the kitten where they don't have access. Make sure that anything that's valuable, like that Waterford crystal dish that's on your kitchen counter, is put away. Kittens can get creative. They'll jump on counters, and they can be surprisingly strong when they're attempting to knock things over. So not to discourage you, just to give some information and education on what is involved in having a kitten in your family. But Hunter is very playful, very affectionate, has a great little purr box that's going right now. So if you are looking for a kitten, definitely come in and visit. Even though you might have a certain look in mind for what you want your kitten to look like, ultimately their personality is going to make or break the deal. This little fella also came to us as a stray. He was found, looks like in Thurmont, and we've named him Braun. He was in foster care for a while, came to the shelter back in May, developed an upper respiratory infection. When we've got a large population of cats and kittens, unfortunately, that's part of the result. A lot of times, if cats and kittens are put into a stressful environment and they don't have appropriate preventative vaccines on board, they tend to get a kitty cold. So we put Braun and a couple of other kittens that were found with him in foster care. He is already microchipped. Prior to leaving here, he will be neutered. And just a comment on his coloring. We get people that call us that they're missing their cat, and when we ask what kind of cat, meaning the breed, they will tell us it's a tabby. And we will ask, well, what kind of tabby, and they will just say it's just a tabby. So what you want to know is that tabby is actually a pattern of their coat. It doesn't describe what breed they are. It doesn't really describe what color. Tabbies can be brown tabbies, such as Braun. He's a brown tabby. There are also gray tabbies, which have the gray coloring and the stripes and sometimes spots. Within the tabby designation, there's also a classic tabby and a marble tabby. So that's the difference between tabbies in general. Again, another reason, if you're missing a cat, you want to come to the shelter, because your description of your pet may be different than what we are used to looking at and what we are used to designating cats that come to us. So Braun is our brown tabby. He's about 3 months old, very affectionate, and another product of foster care. So often, you'll hear me say this over and over again, people that have adopted from foster care once will want to do it again, because the animals come back so well socialized and so confident, and Braun is certainly an example of both of those things. Last little kitty we're going to take a look at is our little girl here. This is Elektra. She is an orange tabby. She's about 4.5 months old. She came in previously owned from Woodsboro, and the reason that she's here, she was part of an unwanted litter. So again, we always go back to, if you have pets in your family that you that you're unable to have them spayed or neutered because of finances, please call us, contact us somehow, come into the shelter. We have plenty of information on resources that can help you. And if you are a Frederick County resident, you might qualify for some programs where you can have your animal spayed or neutered for free. Elektra has already been spayed. She is current on all vaccines, including a rabies vaccine. We've gone ahead and microchipped her. So all of those things that we provide, we are not obligated to provide any of those medical services to animals here, but we do. And part of what we do is spay and neuter our animals before they leave. So she's already done. She would make for a relatively quick adoption. And part of the reason why we spay and neuter animals before they leave here, that is our contribution to the community to prevent unwanted kittens, unwanted litters, from which Elektra was started out in life as an unwanted pet. So she's here now looking for a forever home. She's already spayed, she's already microchipped, and she will make a very entertaining addition to any family. So if you're looking for a young kitten, now is the time to show up at the shelter. And that wraps it up for this week's Pet Pals. We appreciate you watching us today. If you've seen any animals here that you're interested in adopting, please stop by the shelter, or again, call for information if you need information on low-cost spay-neuter. Have a great week, and we will see you next time on Pet Pals.
Each year, the Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center serves thousands of animals in the community while working toward its mission, work that wouldn't be possible without the help of the many dedicated volunteers who donate their time to the division.
We utilize volunteers for foster care, working at the front desk, helping with events, in our in-house spay-neuter clinic. So volunteers come in and they have the ability to help with all aspects of shelter operations, but in the beginning, all start out at the same point. So the different programs specifically for volunteers typically in-house involves them socializing with animals. We at times have animals that live here over 100 days. So it's important that people come in and take dogs out for walks and play with them. It's important that cats have time maybe outside of their cage a little bit, but then also people are spending time petting them.
In addition to caring for animals, volunteers assist staff with customer service and cleaning duties. As they become more involved with the shelter, volunteers can take on different and more specialized roles.
These avenues may lead them to being a spay-neuter technician in our surgery room. It may mean that they help at our front desk with the administrative folks. I have individuals that go to events with me. So we go out into the public and try and raise awareness about what the shelter does and then what our goal and mission is in the community.
Frederick County Animal Control can never have too many volunteers. So if you're interested in taking the next step, here's what you need to know.
We basically ask that you be at least 10 years of age. So anyone who's 10 or older can volunteer with us. If you're between 10 years and 14 years of age, you do have to come with a parent or guardian who is also considered a trained volunteer. At 15, you can volunteer independently. So what we ask of volunteers is that you're able to participate in the program for at least 4 hours a month, and you visit us twice a month. So you can volunteer more than that, but that is the minimum for you to stay an active volunteer. People can sign up by volunteering several ways. Our in-house volunteers, they can come in, fill out an application, they'll be offered an orientation time, which orientation is the first step. That's non-committal. It's just an informational session of how the program works. Our website has my email address and a specific volunteer page that people can reach out that way.
For more information on how you can become involved in the Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center, visit frederickcountymd.gov/FCAC and click on the volunteer link, or contact Sean Snyder by email at ssnyder@frederickcountymd.gov or by phone at 301-600-1546.